So hello guys, welcome back to yet another video where today we'll be solving the third problem from the CSES problem set. So let's get started. The question states that we have been given a DNA sequence which consists of characters A, C, G and T. We have to find the longest repetition in the sequence, that is the, the particular character that repeats the longest. That too we have to contain the substring. So what does this mean is that let's say if we have A, T, T, C, G, G, G and A. So a substring is any continuous portion is a substring, and the first part is it should be a substring, that is it should be a continuous portion, and the second part is that continuous portion should contain similar characters. So when I say this, if we look at this string, let me just give it a zero based indexing over here, and if we look at the substring part and the similar characters part, I can say A is a substring with a similar character, T is a substring with a similar character, C is a substring with a similar character, G is a substring with similar characters, and A is a substring with similar character. Now the question states that we have to find what is the maximum length of a substring with similar character. Over here we can say that the length is 1, the length is 2, the length is 1, the length is 3, and over here the length is 1. So we can state that this is the largest or the longest similar character substring that we have, and hence the answer over here is given as 3. So how can we do this? If we get this string ATTC GGGA, and if we give this a zero based indexing as 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7, let's say we have a variable maxi which checks the maximum length that this substring contains of similar character, and let's as of now initialize it with 0. Let's have a pointer over here I, and we will also maintain another pointer which goes by the name of j. Now what I will do is I will create a while loop where I will say that while my I is less than n. Over here n is the length of this substring, which is 8. Since this is a zero based indexing, hence 7 plus 1, which is going to be equal to 8. So over here, while my 0 is less than 8, why 0? Because my I is pointing to 0 and n over here is 8. What I will do is, first I will maintain a count variable which is initialized to 0. Then I will maintain a j which is going to be equal to I. So my j, over here is also pointing to this. Then what I will do is, I will check while my j is less than n, and at the same time my s of j is equal to c. What is c? That is basically a character that my I is currently pointing to. So till this condition is valid, increment the value of j, and at the same time increment the value of count. So let's just check how is this going to work. We have A, T, T, C, G, G, G and A. So initially my I is pointing to this and my j is also pointing to this, and my C is equal to S of I. What is S? This is my S, and S of I is A. So C is equal to A, and over here while my 0 is less than 8, and at the same time my S of j. So S of j is A. So my S of j is equal to A. Increment the value of count, and at the same time increment the value of j. So over here a is equal to a, increment the value of j. Now my j is over here. Now my s of j is t, due to which this condition fails, and hence we come out from this while loop. Once we come out from this while loop, what we'll do is we will say that maxi is equal to max of maxi comma count. That is, maxi is maintaining what is the maximum length of similar characters that you got until up till this portion. So that is 1. Since my count is 1, so my maxi is updated to 1. So I can say that maxi is equal to 1. And what I will say is my I is equal to j. That is, my I will no longer be over here, rather it will now start pointing to this. Now this will work till my I is less than n, right? So now my I is equal to 1. Why 1? Because this is a zero based indexing. Now again we will do this. We will say now my C is equal to T, my J is equal to I, that is 1. So while those conditions satisfy, that is while my j is less than 8 and at the same time my s of j is equal to t, increment the value of j. So I will say yes, my j is over here and t is equal to t, increment the value of count from 0 to 1 and increment the j pointer. Now my j will come to this place. It will check t is equal to t, yes, again increment the j pointer to here and at the same time increment the count value to 2. Now my c is not equal to t. So while loop breaks, again this condition happens. So my max c is equal to max of maxi comma count initial. So my count value is 2. So my max c has been updated to 2. So the new value of max c up till this substring is 2, and that is tt. Then we will continue this same procedure for until we reach the last or the end of the string. So over here, as soon as I come out from this, again I will say my I is now pointing to here and my j will again start point to C, and this entire while loop works till my I is less than n. So moving on to the coding part, let's see more clearly how this is going to work. So over here I am taking a string s, which let's say it is a, t, t, g, g, g and c, and I'm following this procedure which I just mentioned. So let's understand in detail how this is going to work. I'm giving a zero based indexing over here. Now according to this, I have initialized my I equal to 0. So over here my I is equal to 0. My j is also equal to 0. Actually there's no need to do this because we are using this j pointer, so this can be ignored. Now I'm going into my while loop. While my 0 is less than 7, what I'm doing is I'm saying my character c should be equal to s of I. I know my I is pointing to a, so my c is going to be equal to a. Then my j is also equal to I. Since I is equal to 0, j is equal to 0, so j is also pointing to a. Now inside this I am starting a while loop. While my j, that is 0, is less than 8 and at the same time s of j is equal to c. Now c over here is a. So till this is equal to a, what I am doing is I am incrementing the j value, and I have also maintained a count which is equal to 0, and I am also incrementing my count value at the same time. So I will check, yes, 0 is less than 8, which is true, and at the same time is my s of j equal to a? Yes, my j is pointing to a and it is equal to a. So increment the value of j. So now j will increment from 0 to 1. So j has been incremented to 1. Now over here also this is no longer 0, rather it is 1. So is my 1 less than 8? Yes, which is again true. But is my S of j, which is t, is it equal to a? No. So this entire while loop breaks. Once it breaks, I will check max c is equal to max of max c. Now since initially my max c over here is equal to 0, so it is max of 0 comma 1. So max c is updated to 1 because when we compare 0 and 1, the maximum value is 1. So max c is updated to 1. And what we do is we say that I is going to be equal to j. So over here our I is no longer pointing to 0, rather it is pointing to j. So I is over here. Now again, now since my I is not pointing to 0 but it is 1, we see that 1 is less than 7. Yes. Now my c is equal to s of I. Now I is pointing to 1. So over here my c is going to be equal to t. So this is going to be equal to t. My count is equal to 0. My j is equal to s of I. My I is equal to 1. So j is equal to 1 and this is equal to t. Now what I will do is I will again go into this while loop. I will check is my 1 less than 8? Yes. And over here I will check is my s of j equal to t? Yes. So increment the value of j from 1 to 2. So j has been incremented and count has been incremented from 0 to 1. Now is again my s of 2 which is t equal to t? Yes. Is my 2 less than 8? Yes. So increment the value of count from 0 to 2. Now my j is over here. Is 3 less than 8? Which is again true. But is my s of j, that is g, equal to t? No. This is not equal, hence the while loop again breaks. Now our maxi is equal to, here this time maxi is going to be equal to 1 because my new value of maxi is equal to 1 and I am checking it with count. Now count is 2. So from 1 and 2, 2 is maximum. So my maxi will get updated to 2. So over here it was ATT GGGC and this was the zero based indexing. Now at the end I'm doing is I should be equal to 0. So over here now my I value is equal to this. Then again I start this loop over here. We'll again see that my C should be equal to S of I. So now my C is equal to G. My count is also equal to 0 and my J is equal to I, which is nothing but 3. Again I go into this while loop. I check is my 3 less than 8? Yes. Is my S of J equal to T? Sorry, over here now it is going to be equal to G. So is my S of J equal to G? Yes. So increment the value of J. So my J will get incremented from here. It will go to here. So again I will check. Is my 4 less than 8? Yes. Is my S of j, that is G, is equal to G? Yes. And increment the value of J and increment the value of count. So my count over here has been incremented to 3 to 2, sorry. And I will again check. Is my 5 less than 8? Yes. Is my S of j, that is G, equal to G? Yes. Increment the value of J and increment the value of count. So J is over here and count is incremented to 3. Now, is my 6 less than 8? Is my 6 less than 8? Yes, 6 is also less than 8. But is my C equal to G? No. So this while loop again breaks. Now I will check is my max. Okay, so again I will check max is equal to max of maxi, which is initialized to 2. Not initialized, the new value of maxi is 2 and the value of count is 3. So now maxi will have a value of 3, which basically states that up till this string, this substring, the maximum length of similar characters that you can get is 3, and my I will be equal to j. So I is over here now, and obviously CC is less than, so the length of CC is 2, which is obviously less than 3. We'll get our answer as 3. After completing this, what is the time complexity and the space complexity of this code? Since we are traversing on the string of length n, the time complexity is O of n. The space complexity is O of 1 because we are just using some constant variables to store the information, and hence the time complexity and space complexity for this question is going to be O of n and O of 1. So that is it for this video. I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I will be coming up with more videos. Until then, take care and bye bye.